Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to the Driving Home Reviews podcast. This is a podcast that features mine and my girlfriend Hannah's unfiltered, spoiler-filled thoughts about films we've just seen on the drive home. Just a heads up, there's a lot of strong language, full spoilers, obviously, and a lot of comments about what we see on the road, so we hope you enjoy. Also, I'll be back at the end to wrap it all up. So for this episode, we went and saw The Last Letter to Your Lover, which is a romantic film about Felicity Jones, who finds some old love letters from like the 60s and tries to piece that romance together and try and find out what happened. It's based on a book as well, apparently, which I didn't know, but it kind of makes sense as I was watching it. But was it any good? We're just going to have to listen and find out, aren't you? So, let's go.
It's warm now, isn't it?
Whoa, what's going on?
A bit warm, but also a bit breezy.
It's very fucking breezy if you're in that fucking screen. It's not like the roof was going to come off.
No, don't joke.
Well, yeah,
it might happen.
Again.
Oops.
Oh.
Excuse you, Rosie.
Why do you look out that big, you fucking idiot?
Why does anyone need a car that big? Oh yeah, you work here, do you?
You don't want to get out of the staff car park. Well, they might do actually. I doubt it, but what did you think of that?
I enjoyed that.
Did you?
Yeah, well, it's quite sweet.
No.
Did you not?
Not really.
That's something for you.
It wasn't even that soppy. That's what I was a bit like, what? Yeah, yeah.
Weren't a fan.
No. And that's not me being, you know me, I love a good rom-com.
Oh yeah.
I like a bit of romance, but that wasn't, no. I don't know what it was. It was a bit meh. Bit of beef.
Go on then.
Might be a bit of a full Toby Carvery, because where do we begin? I was very confused at the beginning because it was straight away 1970s, 60s, and I was just like, wait, what? What's going on here? It really confused me as well because I didn't realise that she'd forgotten everything for a while.
Well, until she said.
Until she said, and I was like,
That mate was like, oh, what's wrong?
I was like, you're looking a bit wistfully at all these pictures and stuff. Oh my god, this is the most. That's not even a backy, that's a fronty, but not even on the fucking handlebars. It's
Fronty.
riding on the fucking.
Should I go left and then right?
Yeah.
Want that for a laugh? Oh, he's just gone. Fucking love it.
Yeah, a bit confused at the start because I was like, well, what's going on? And then I was like, okay, she got in a car accident. And then I didn't realise until she said, oh yeah, I don't remember anything. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's what it is. I also like how she tried to cover up her scar and put on the tiniest amount of makeup.
Yeah, and then be like, oh,
and then it was like, oh no. But then like she kind of held her hair. Like initially she had her hair on the other side of her face and I was like, really babes? And then after that she put her hair to cover it up a little bit and I was like, okay, fair enough. Again, teeny tiniest little scar, doesn't look like you've just come out of hospital from having surgery kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then it's sort of like, because it was like, oh, a little bit like on her cheek and then like a little bit on her forehead. And then, did she have one on like the back of her neck as well? And I was like, bloody hell. I was like, the severity of these wounds just, it was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God.
In a second.
So, yeah, and then yeah, it was just straight at the front. Straight at modern times. Felicity Felicity Jones.
Yeah.
What was her character called? Ellie. Oh, I should have known. Well, no, I shouldn't have known because she never puts her name in emails.
I don't know. She said her name quite a lot.
Well, there's a lot of names. There was a lot of back and forth, and then back. And I was like, what? I also.
At first, I was like, oh, I preferred the modern Davids. But then, as the film progressed, I was like, these modern Davids are pissing me off.
Yeah, and then the modern Davids just sort of stopped for about half an hour.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't really. Yeah, and I just don't really give a shit about all this like fanning and farting about it in the end.
Yeah. I felt like the beginning of the film could have done without jumping back and forth so much. Like, it could have just been the 1960s story, and then I don't know.
The film felt like it was two different films, and they just sort of tried to smush them together somehow. Because I was like, I was probably more invested in the 1960s one.
Yeah,
Obviously, they showed us more of it.
But then, they were trying to make me care about all the characters in the present day, and I was like, I don't care about this.
Oh,
It's not why I'm here.
Was it written by a fucking boomer, mate? Because all the fucking jokes. Oh, I was like, this is so not funny.
How awkward was
the bloke?
Rory, yeah.
When she was going into the archives, and she was like, and he was like, oh, we got to book it online now.
Yeah.
You can tell the boomer was like, oh, satire, booking things online.
Yeah.
Because this is such an inconvenience. I'm like, it's literally not even an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Like, those are the rules, and I'm not being funny. If you've worked in this paper for long enough, you'll know those are the rules because they would have said that these are the rules. And I'm also a bit like, fair enough, because you're working with very delicate paper and shit like that. That, you can't just go in and fucking rustle about. Oh, but wait, you can, because who gives a shit? Because it doesn't even matter. Because he was like, oh, well, here's all these, like, very particular ones, which, we need to be very careful around. We're going to be in a very special room. No food, no drink. You've got to have your hand sanitizer on. All carefully calculated. And then it was just like, oh, yeah, we've actually got the other archive where it's just a fucking mess. It looks like the room of requirements from Harry Potter. But the later rooms of Harry Potter where nothing's anywhere and shit's just...
Yeah.
People don't give a flying fuck about it, and I was like...
When he was like, oh yeah, that's the stuff from 1964 to 65, and it's like, is it? How do you know? Because it's all just piled on top of each other, and then she's just standing on the desk, and she's pulling all this stuff down from places that he hasn't said is where it should be from.
Yeah, it's like, I remember when we were at uni, we had, those things with Ellen, where it was like, right, okay, we look at these old-timey things, and you need to put, like, your special, like, no grease gloves on, like, get them very carefully out. And it was just like, nah, fuck it, it's wrapped in a bit of parcel paper, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also, I think the thing that got very confused quite early on, because I thought, they were like, oh, the woman, we're going to do a piece on the woman who died. Also, shout out to the guy from Sex Education who had the strangest accent.
Why was he Scottish?
Yeah.
Or trying to be Scottish.
Or just what?
What was that accent?
Yeah, it was bizarre to say the least. But shout out to him again in the films. I like it.
Yeah.
Give him that. And oh god, yeah. I was very confused because he was doing a piece on what was it? The editor or the owner of the newspaper.
Yeah.
Who they showed very briefly in one newspaper clipping. But she was old.
Yeah.
Who I thought was Shailene Woodley. Was that her name? Because I was like,
Shailene Woodley,
yeah, off of Fault in Our Stars, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, look at the little doggy. Oh. I thought that was her.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Which
her
made
as
complete
well.
sense as to why she had the letters. And then slowly but surely, I was like,
it's not her, because her name's Jenny, not Mary.
But then I was like, but if these are her letters, why are they just so thrown about?
Yeah.
And you know what annoyed me even more? Because when you find out later on in the story, in the flashback, when Shailene, what's her name, gives the editor-in-chief, the letters, they're together.
Yeah, they're all together.
They're not even like they're loose.
No,
they're bound together. So
together.
I was like, what sort of fucking maniac has just thought, oh, well, there's a load of letter here, but I'm just going to fucking cut them up and just chuck them wherever.
Yeah.
What sort of mental archivist has just not given a fuck about anything?
These are tied together, but they don't need to stay together. Like, that's fine.
I just feel like, I don't know, like the pacing of every... I think because they started with that letter where he was like, oh, dearest, my love.
The one that we ended up hearing about five
times. And he was like, oh, I'm going to be waiting on Marylebone Station at 7 p.m. sharp. Yeah. Oh, that was nearly a van with that name on. It said Stanner.
Oh.
And it was like, oh, that's going to be Marylebone. I was like, okay, well, obviously that's where she was going when she got the fucking car crash to him. Like, it's not really a mystery. And it's like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like that, I kind of wish that hadn't happened. I wish they'd had, like, the mystery and they hadn't read that letter.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if she came back and she was like, oh, I can't really remember anything. Oh, I found this letter.
Yeah.
Saucy.
Just classic, like, starting at the end, at the beginning.
Yeah.
You don't need to explore the story.
You don't need to say that oh, come meet me here at this time. And then you show us a flash forward of the rain in a car and flashing, like a car crash, basically. You more or less showed it. I was just like, well, I know what's happening and I'm just waiting to get there now.
Yeah.
I just would have preferred it if, because obviously Felicity Jones was reading the letters, which I swear were about 3.
Yeah.
Because I don't think for 1 second that she was reading the letters that those two were having in the Maldives or wherever they'd gone on holiday. I swear that, like, because she read one letter and then she's like, oh, I need to find out the rest of this story. And I was like,
yeah.
Do you?
Like, why? Why are
like,
you so invested?
Like, oh, I found this fucking saucy little letter. But, like, yeah, I just didn't believe, like, how did you know that these two were having, like, these intricate love affairs? I mean, obviously, from the audience point of view, we knew this because it's a film. Like, they need to show this, otherwise it'd be dead fucking boring. But, yeah, and then it was like, oh, 6 months earlier. But how did Shailene Woodley know that? Because she went to... Oh, look at the big floppy ears on that little doggy. Because she went to, what was it, Bernardo's? Alberto's. Because she went there, didn't she? And then she tried to, like, piece it together.
Yeah.
But she was like, the woman was like, fuck off. And I'm like, but you knew she was here. Like, you will have seen her, surely. Because she was obviously good enough mates with the guy who...
Felipe.
Yeah, Felipe, who died.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he was good enough friends with her to take her to the fucking train station where he died.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. Well, are you with the police?
Like,
obviously not.
How did you not piece together, like, would it not have been reported on, like, oh yeah, like, there was a car crash and this guy died and this woman survived but she's lost her memory? Like, I feel like that would have been reported on, so the woman who worked at Alberto's would have known who she was.
It's absolutely she would have. And I'm like, but she knew. No way. Because when did Shailene Woodley find out that the car crash that she was in supposedly killed her lover boy? Because she said, oh yeah, Felipe was in there and you're adulterer. When did the husband say that to her? Was that after she went to Alberto's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Because I was like, well, there you go. You know what happened? Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes way more sense. But I'm like, you would have known you were in the car crash. You would have known that. Whatever.
What do you mean?
Well, because she would have woken up and like, I don't remember a fucking thing. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have just not told her. They would have been, oh, you were in a car crash and you were with, like, this bloke who's giving you a lift or something.
Yeah.
Like, unless he just didn't. Whatever. Don't need to worry about it. That happened before the film. But yeah, there was nothing in that letter that told her about what they had in the Riviera or whatever. Because as far as I was aware, that was the only letter that she found, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Marylebone one.
Yeah. I need to find one.
Yeah. oh my god, the amount of fucking times that we saw that fucking letter, you know, and it was like a zoomed in of the letter,
Yeah.
like sweeping across the screen, and then it was like them reading it, and I was like, alright.
Yeah.
But I feel like the thing, because like I was more engaged with the 1960s romance up until the point where he was like, oh yeah, I had an affair already, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's a bit of a bold move to have your like love interest be a serial adulterer.
Yeah.
You know, at a time where it's very frowned upon. I mean, obviously it's frowned upon all the time anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But like in the 60s especially, it's very naughty, especially
yeah, she
naughty.
Said, didn't she? She was like, oh, I'll be like disowned, my family will disown me.
Yeah, and he's just like, ah, fuck it, I'll seduce every woman I want.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, mate.
I'm already an adulteress.
Yeah, like,
I'm gonna bring you down with me.
well, I'll do it once, do it again. You know, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got a kid, I'm going to see him anyway, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know, because the fact that it was...
Made me like his character a little less.
Yeah, because I was a bit like, if it was like, you know, oh, you know, that sort of, that usual lovey-dovey thing where it's like, oh yes, we were married from a young age and then we sort of grew apart as we grew older.
Yeah.
And we just realised it wasn't right.
Literally
and,
like Shailene and her husband, like, they were clearly not.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously he wasn't too well off, so he's not going to be like looped into a fucking sort of fake.
Sorry, what's going on? Right,
What's going on?
okay. It was trying to make me go round that roundabout to get onto the slip road rather than just going left.
Of course, I mean. Yeah, so I was a bit like, I don't really like you then.
Yeah, not a fan of you.
Can we just talk about, this film should have been called Shailene Woodley, where it's the stupidest fucking hat I've ever seen. Oh my god, what? What?
What do you mean?
She has so many stupid fucking hats.
Hats at the time.
But she didn't need to wear that many. It was like every scene there was something with her in her hair.
Yeah, she's a well-dressed lady.
Fucking Panama hats left, right and centre, and then that one where she was being all mopey and shit in London.
That was a funny one.
And it was
she
like,
was in the car and it was raining.
Your fucking like bucket hat.
She
Like
was being the star of her music video.
she's like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I don't get to adult anymore.
That hat was funny.
Oh, it's the stupidest fucking hat. I just couldn't take it. I was like, okay, fair enough, big Panama hat while you're by the pool. And then I was like, a different Panama hat. I was like, your luggage is just hats.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous.
No. That didn't piss me off that much.
I just found it funny. I was just like,
Stu.
I was like, sure. I don't know what it. There was just something about the 60s. Everyone just looked like they'd been stung by bees. Like on their cheeks and stuff. Everyone just looked very like, I don't know, like her husband looked very like the adulterer boyfriend looked very and Shailene Woodley just looked, they all look very puffy faced. And I was also like, all these people sat around the table talking now, I bet you all vote Brexit. Gammons.
What do you mean? Sat around the table when?
Just any time that in the 60s they're all like, hey, yeah, I fucking hate everyone. Like, oh, I'm going to smoke my cigarette. They're like, oh, don't have any more brandy, do you? Which, I mean, fair, like, obviously the way he did it, not ideal. But she did literally, like, go out of hospital that day.
Oh,
She probably
yeah,
was on a lot of
exactly.
medicine, and she was like, I fucking hate you.
You also probably had a severe brain injury if you lost your memory.
Probably not the best thing to, like, fair enough for maybe, I don't know, a vodka and coke. We had a full glass of brandy on the table. I was like, oh no. Yeah. But yeah, I quite like, the modern day stuff. I was just I was a bit like, wasn't really a fan of. they were like, oh, well, this guy's like so weird for following company rules. You know, because they were just like, I found, you know, the bit when he was like, oh, no food or drink, just like scoffed down a big old pan of chocolate. I was like, fair enough. I was like, that was hilarious. Like, could have just put it on the table, but yeah, like, yeah, sure. I was like, that's pretty funny. Yeah,
put it in your bag.
Put the drink on the side. You know, he's probably not gonna eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you left your drink there, so you probably could have left your pastry, but no, you wanted to make a point and shove it in your mouth.
But yeah. Also, this cliche to death. The modern day people kissing in the rain outside. Well, I mean, you say cliche to death. You don't really see it that much anymore. But I was just like, oh, cool. Cool. Astounding number of cats in this film. Oh my god, that smells like shit, doesn't it? Ooh.
No, it doesn't smell like shit.
It doesn't smell great, does it?
It smells like a dentist stick. Like a dog chew.
It smells like ass.
Why are we breaking then?
Also, you know the bit at the end when he was just in his flat, she was like, oh, I'm outside in the rain.
Yeah.
It was 4:20 on a weekday.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he at work? Because it was very specific where it was like, everything shuts at 5. I guess maybe he'd had a day off.
Yeah. Maybe the archive shuts at 3.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it shuts at 5, doesn't it? The reading room shuts at 5.
Yeah. The library is shut. It's shut.
Get out.
I also like how she was meant to be writing an article about the editor-in-chief and then she was like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. And when the woman was reading it at the end, she was like, oh my god,
brilliant.
This is great, this is so good. And I'm like, but is it about the person that it's supposed to be about though? I don't think so.
Also, you didn't really give us much context about like the love lawn. Like at the point of the article, you were just sort of like, oh, they're really cute. Like, I feel like the article should have come after they had their romantic, like, because you know they had the oldies had their reconciliation, didn't they?
Yeah.
I feel like you needed to talk through that hopeful message that you probably put in the article.
Yeah.
But I feel like that should have been like your voiceover as they were having their cutesy little moment, you know, not just him like, should we close our eyes?
Oh, but that bit was sweet when it was like, oh, let's imagine like you got to the train station and we lived our life together. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that would have been nice.
Again, I feel like that 1960s could have just been a film on its own, and it probably would have been better because you didn't have these two people who I didn't really like. Also, I can't believe, first of all, that he was having a birthday party. So first of all, that his ex was there. Thirdly, that his ex's husband was there with.
That was ridiculous.
What? I was like,
shh,
get out. Like, no.
What?
No.
That would be like me having an ex who was like friends with Natalie, and Natalie like invited them to my birthday party just because she was friends with them. Like, it's weird.
And then he brings his wife.
Yeah, like
what? No, that's outside the social norms. That's not how it works.
Bizarre.
And then, oh, why didn't you want to come to your party? What do you fucking think?
What do you think? Yeah.
Sorry, you organised a party and then invited my ex and her new husband because they're your friends.
I also love how at the party, no one like went up to him and said, "Oh, happy birthday!" Like, no one even acknowledged that he was there or that he hadn't been there for the whole time.
Because I thought they just went to a bar.
Yeah, me too.
I thought those two went because it was their birthday, and then when he was like, "Oh, yeah, that's my ex," that's her husband.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is your birthday party then? Why is no one saying hello to you?
Yeah, cool. Don't recognise anyone from the office. Oh, but of course, because he works in archives on his own, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, he's weird.
He's so weird because he follows the protocols of the company. Fucking loser, mate.
It's actually awkward.
I also loved how they were like, you know, they're like, oh, fuck, modern romances. Oh, you know, you just send a text, but in the text you put a hashtag. What?
Yeah.
You don't understand modern day texts.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would ever text hashtag other than in Love Island.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe they wrote Love Island. Also, I loved how Charlie would have got fucking mugged clean off. She was like,
when she went in to kiss him,
yeah,
he
when
was
she
like, no.
when she was fully like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna adult the shit out of this marriage. And then he was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I like how it was. Okay, well we could do it in Spain, wherever they were.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like we could just have like a little holiday, a little romance. And he was like, no, fuck that. I want to make sure this is going to ruin your marriage.
Yeah.
he was like, no, I'm going to make sure it's in London, where you know where we all live.
And when they like went to the bar and stuff, and I was like, what if someone sees you?
Yeah. And I was like, it's quite a popular place.
Yeah.
And you're not really hiding your tracks very well. I was just like, you two just don't give a flying fuck, do you? Like, neither of you.
But to be fair.
But yeah, no.
I think the husband was Joe Alwyn.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. I just... As I was halfway through, I was like, was this based on a book? And then as soon as it was like based on a book, I was like, I see. I was like, this would have made... I think it was a better book than it probably would have been a film, because I feel like you'd get to read the letters in full, not just a whoosh by of like zoomed in letters where you get like the odd sentence or whatever.
A little montage of like...
You can... And I feel like it would have been a lot easier to like... Because I imagine the chapter would have started with that particular letter. You know, I don't know. I feel like it would have been a lot easier to like...
Well, maybe I'll buy you the book and you can read it.
No thanks, I don't. No. I just thought it was a bit strange to seeing Shailene Woodley in like a role where she's just not a teenager anymore.
No.
Because I was just a bit like... I was like, oh... I was like, you're a woman, but you're like a 1960s woman.
Yeah.
Also, was she meant to be American?
I think so.
Because I felt like at the beginning her accent was quite more British, kind of.
Yeah.
And then towards the end it was just like, American. And she's like, hey, taxi! Straight out, oh, I'm from New York. Give me a fucking cab. I was very...
Maybe it had changed, climatized.
Yeah, maybe.
Due to the place that she'd been living.
Like, oh yes, don't you know? Hey, cab! You fucking mook. So you take my daughter, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then he was like, I liked how that bit. She was like, oh, if you fucking try anything, I'm gonna do whatever. Yeah. And then he was like, shut the fuck up. Like,
you're an adulteress.
You had the affair. You really think like in 1960s, me, a man, is gonna get done over by like the law?
Yeah.
Get out of town. And then she was like, but then I quite liked how she was like, all right then, you know what? I'm just gonna take my daughter and run. And I was like, fair play, babes. And then she was like, oh, she must have looked fucking mental as well, mustn't she? When she turned up to his hotel room. Oh, I'm looking for this guy. Is he here? Yeah. No, and then she's like...
Baby in arm, like...
Yeah, baby in arm, bag in hand, like... And then she just goes, oh, I'm just going to go through the place he works. Like, fucking hairs all over the place. Fucking... Like, people are like, can we help you? And she's like, Anthony!
I'm just looking
Anthony! Where is he? And they're all like... He's gone. Like, calm down for starters, like, because you're being a bit crazy. And then, oh god, yeah. And then she just like emptied her bag as if she's at EasyJet check-in, and they're like, oh, you're over, babes. And she's like, I thought she was gonna leave her bag at one point. Because, you know, like, she like, handed the letters and then she just picked the kid up. Yeah. And then I was like, it turned as if she was going to walk away, and then in the next scene she just had the bag, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Need the bag in the end,
No.
did she? But yeah, that must have been awkward when she went back home with the kid, like, oh, I'm not really running away.
And like the housemaid was just like, why'd you take all the bags with you? Like, where have you been?
Like, oh, you're back.
Like, you're looking a bit huffy puffy, running all over the place, like trying to run away by any chance. And he's like, yes. But yeah, I was just like, oh my, oh me, oh my. Also, there were a few points where in the modern day bit, it just, where Rory and Felicity, it felt like they kept saying bits that was out of sync.
Did it?
Yeah.
I just, like when?
I don't know why I keep noticing this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
do.
It's just really pissing me off because it's like, it's stuff where it was like the odd bit where it was like, it wasn't like a close up, but it was like, I think it was like in the archives and in the fucking room of requirement. And there was just like bits where it was like they were like saying stuff, but it was like you could see their mouths moving, but it wasn't matching up to what they were saying. But it was like only ever so slightly out, and I was just like, I don't know, it just annoyed me because I was like, really?
Blame the editor for that.
Yeah.
Did a rubbish job.
But yeah, I just wish it was a bit cute. I just wish that like modern day bit just wasn't in it really.
Yeah, me too.
Because it felt like that was just, it felt like that was like an afterthought.
I guess it like needed to be,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they've maybe just written the characters a bit better.
Yeah. Just made her less annoying.
Yeah. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
Oh,
my goodness.
dear me.
My goodness.
Any final thoughts? What were your final thoughts from it?
My final thoughts. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I still stand by. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It
That's
made
fair
me
enough.
laugh. It didn't. I don't know. I didn't get too confused with the stuff.
Oh, it didn't take a lot to confuse me though.
Wasn't too confusion.
Yeah, it was just
cried,
like.
I laughed.
Which bit did you cry at? Was it the oldies when they were like, "Oh, let's be together"?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was that bit.
It was sweet.
When it showed
like,
her getting on the train.
Yeah. Bit like Titanic, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it
Bit
made me
cute.
sad because that didn't actually happen.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, it's
But
like...
they were together. A bit like La La Land.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like La La Land.
Less than
did you?
that.
It's the same thing. It's the same ending.
Mm-hmm.
Copied it, but they did a worse job of it.
Maybe.
But
No, it's like... Oh, there's another film where
there is another film, isn't there?
they
where
get together again at the end. And
Yeah.
it's... Oh, what film is it?
Because as I was saying La La Land, I was like, I know La La Land does it. I was like, but there's another one. What?
I think it's Mamma Mia.
Oh, what? Pierce Brosnan
It's
and
fucking
bloody
Mamma Mia.
and Meryl.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
You think about all that time they spent apart when they could have just been together.
Very true.
That's
Very
awesome.
true.
And then she just dies, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does just die
Just
because
dies. They just kill her off.
yeah, because
I think it is. Yeah, I think
because
it's
why?
Mamma Mia that I'm thinking
Why
of.
not? Like
Oh well, you're happy, aren't you? Dead Meryl Streep.
fucking too right. Overrated bitch. But,
Spies. But yeah, overall thoughts I enjoyed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Could have been better, but
I don't know what it was.
I don't know, I wasn't expecting too much, so I wasn't let down. I've not read the book, so I can't compare.
Yeah.
So, face value.
I mean, considering we watched the trailer for the first time yesterday, and I sort of half-assed watched it because I was playing Red Dead, but
The trailer, not the film.
yeah, yeah, and I played Red Dead half-assed, that's for sure. But yeah.
But you didn't enjoy.
I don't know. I just wanted to be more, because I can get into a film by all means. I wasn't really encapsulated by like I said. I think it's because I kind of knew where it was going, because I was like, well, obviously they don't end up together, like in this 60s portion that we're seeing, and I kind of know where it's going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you know what I mean? I was just a bit...
I just thought that was going to be because one of them was dead, that they didn't end up together.
Yeah. And again, I thought it was like, because I thought she was already dead. Because I thought because my thinking was, oh, he's a journalist. And then I thought, oh, she's going to divorce her husband, get a shitload of money, and she's going to start this journalism business. Or like something on his behalf, maybe. Or, do you know what I mean? As like an ode to him sort of thing, you know? Or, you know, because she'd forgotten everything, she was like, oh, I really like writing stuff, so I'm going to start writing. And then she was going to be like, oh, I don't know why I like newspaper editing and stuff. And then it was going to be like, it's because of him. And then, you know, when all the letters come out, that would have been him being like, oh, okay, I found her again. Oh, my life is complete because I loved her until the end, and she loved me until the end. And, you know, it wasn't necessarily they got together, but it was going to be that, like, you know, while they weren't together, they spent their life, like the remainder of their life, they were single, they weren't together, but they were in love with each other. And I don't know, I just feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I don't know, I think it's because it kept getting taken out of their romance bit, because it felt like, oh, we're gonna have like a little bit of a montage of like us going and like having like a day date or whatever, and you never really saw them like having like a deep convo or like, you know, because she was like, oh, basically I've just been treated like shit by my current husband, but this guy's just sort of here, so maybe that's why I like him, you know? Yeah. Because then they went like on the boat, didn't they? And he was like, oh, I'm adulterer. And she was a bit like... And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, a little bit of conflict. Because she's like, oh, he's a bit of a bad boy. But then it was just sort of... Didn't they just go and sit in the car when it was raining? And then she was like, oh, gosh. Bit of pathetic fallacy. Yeah, raining outside.
I think there was a bit more in between that of them like walking around, spending time together.
Yeah, but I don't know. Again, because I feel like that just needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. But if that modern day stuff wasn't there, or if it was more to a minimum, I just feel like if Felicity Jones had just, you know, maybe if she'd just read, you know, she had a bit of a bad breakup, she was like, fuck love, fuck man, never want to see him again, and then she just found all the letters and just read it as like a story between the two of them. Yeah. And then maybe that was it. There was none of this like, oh, stopping for like 10 minutes while these two have like a bit of a awkward encounter.
That would have been better, because then it would have led to her like reuniting them, but with less of the fucking awkward Monday.
Yeah, and it was like you didn't really need him in it. She could have just done this on her own. Yeah. And then she was like, oh, okay, this is so beautiful that now I believe in love again. I'm ready to get back on the market. And then, you know, maybe if it was like you kept him in it, but he sort of took a sideline. So, you know, it was like they had little flirty bits, but that was it. They didn't need to have like this whole like awkward adventure sort of thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And he like maybe fancied her, but then she was like, nah, fuck man. And then by the end of it, they could like have a date, and then you're like, ah, perfect. She drew back on it. Sort of thing. But I feel like that. But I mean, hey ho, that's not the way the film went, so it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? But I mean, it's cute. It's. I feel like it's a bit of a mum's rom-com, isn't it? I think.
Just a rom.
Yeah, not really a com, more rom.
Just a rom.
But yeah, right, let's roll because it's fucking warm again.
Warm. Roasted toasty.
And there it was, our driving home review. Very interesting. Was it controversial? Possibly. This is pre-recorded, so deal with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Insta, Twitter, or give us a like on Facebook, where we're Driving Home Reviews. It'd be great if you could subscribe and leave a nice juicy 5-star review, and maybe I'll buy you a pint. Is this bribery? Probably. But tune in next time for another Driving Home Review. Bye bye!